Hello? Remix my audio. Yeah, definitely remix. Okay. Is that better? Is that better? It's all good, provided. Don't you worry about it. I haven't been live in like a week now or something. I need to use like the game mix or something. How do I? Here we go. Turn that down. Weird. Okay. So, yeah. I might play a lot of this. I'm not sure. I haven't played it in a while. Personal best is 12. Hello, welcome to the stream. I think there was like a topic to talk about while I did all this. I'm really tired. I know it's like 10 o'clock or whatever, but I'm extremely exhausted. I almost didn't get up. Like, not permanently, but I almost didn't get up at 10. I was gonna just go back to sleep, and I was like, nah, I want to do stuff. I really wanted to stream today because I haven't streamed in a while. That's not what I have to do. Hey. We're just like Yankees together. I was gonna like play an actual game. I mean, this is an actual game, obviously. I'm obviously just messing around with this game. Things all move. Right now. I always like tearing things apart with the grappling hook. It's fun. I was actually thinking about this before I started. What's my favorite Just Cause game? doesn't have like the multiple grapple hooks. It doesn't have, you know, the customizable bombs or the customizable grapple hook like the fourth game does. Actually, out of all the Just Cause games I've played, which is 2 through 4, Just Cause 4 is my least favorite. It just, compared to this game, like Just Cause 4 actually feels like the sequel to Just Cause 2. But compared to this game, it's so bad. Plant explosive. This game is a superior game, in my opinion, than Just Cause 4. It looks better, it plays better, and there's just so many like things you can do in it that are just so freaking fun. While Just Cause 4 took out like half the things that were in this game. That was really tough. Like bridges. The fact that you can destroy bridges in this game and you can't in... I mean, they have wooden bridges you can destroy in Just Cause 4, but it still feels like they downgraded. The only upgrade in Just Cause 4, in my opinion, is the grapple hook. But I also like having landmines. Ooh. Ow. What? Oh, I'm gonna have to throw that one. There we go. Still in one piece. This is a very big explosion. That's why. Let's see it. Let's get the evade button. There it is. There's the explosion I like. Ow. Ow, that hurt me even more. "100% of the map, so this is just something I just chose to... whatever it's called. Reinstall communism or whatever. There's just like, the funny thing is, so Just Cause 2 doesn't have any of the stuff that this game has. It doesn't have the wingsuit. It doesn't have the it doesn't have the wingsuit. It doesn't have the grapples. It doesn't have speeding up the grapples. It doesn't have a lot that makes this game what it is. but for some reason, not a helicopter, I don't think. Oh, that gets still alive. Okay. But the thing is, just because it doesn't have that stuff doesn't mean that it's worse. Because I believe the wingsuit actually takes away from what, like, from a very fun thing in Just Cause 2, which is driving vehicles. Like, why would I ever drive a vehicle in this game when I have the wingsuit? Especially when I have the upgraded wingsuit that can just fly, basically. It gives you light abilities. Why would I ever? Why would I ever, why would I ever use a car? Or get a jet? Or a helicopter? I mean, they're faster, right? So you might get in jets and helicopters. But you almost never would get in a car. I really have, like, you just don't. You don't drive things all that much in this game because your wingsuit is just faster. You know, you don't have to worry about the terrain. You don't have to worry about like where the road's going. None of it. You just do it. So, like, I love the wingsuit. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that the second game, because it doesn't have the wingsuit and the parachute's so freaking slow, you know, but it's still usable. Like, I used the parachute to freaking do a bunch of stuff. When I didn't have a car, I would use the parachute, just like this. Nice. Having two big guns instead of just one. But also, what's up, bro? I'm talking about Just Cause 2 right now, and why I think it's the better game. Which is weird because, like I've been saying, like Just Cause 2 doesn't have, you know, wingsuits. It doesn't have it doesn't have the grapples. How do I evade?
Matching chopper support to contact.
Ow.
Response team is en route to your position.
What's that damn helicopter? Oh.
Initializing search protocol.
Oh my
Find the
god.
target as soon as possible.
So the reason I brought this up is because I like Just Cause 2 the most out of all the Just Cause games I've played, which is 2, 3, and 4. I don't know how one plays, so obviously I'm not going to speak to it, but did I hit something? Oh yeah, I hit the ground. Okay. I don't like 4. 4 is actually my least favorite. 4 actually feels like it's the follow-up to Just Cause 2. Like it's the sequel to Just Cause 2. Because it feels like it's a natural like progression of where that goes. Well, this game feels like it's a sequel to Just Cause 4 with the quality. Because Just Cause 4 has like, I don't know if it has worse graphics. It has less stylized graphics. Like there's just less. What's the opposite of late? Early. But yeah, Just Cause 4 just has less stylized graphics. While it, just like Just Cause 2, where it's a lot of grays and whatnot. It was very early today. I know. I wanted to get it out of the way because my wife is going to be leaving to go do like a bridal shower or whatever with her friends at 1. I was thinking, because I've been taking a break off just writing, I thought it'd be the time to Well, yeah, what's your favorite? I can't hear you. Let me turn down the game audio. Is that better? For some reason, sometimes it lets me adjust like the mixture, audio mix, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure why. That's better. Yep. Thank you. What's your favorite Just Cause game? My favorite Just Cause game is Just Cause 2. Even though it has a lot of like less quality of life stuff in it than this game does. It has a lot less like the explosions and stuff are so rudimentary and simple and whatnot. But there's something about all that's like actually put some charm into it, like this game. You've only played Just Cause 3? Okay. Well, this game, while it has this huge map and whatnot, like the story is short as heck. This island's only used for the end, and to be honest, the freaking map itself, I'm pretty sure, is smaller than the Just Cause 2 map. Like, significantly smaller. Just Cause 2 map just felt like you were actually in a country. I wish I could play it. I mean, if I had my PS3, I could play it. But there's more detail. Yeah, so this game has better graphics, for sure. Like 100%. But you can kind of tell that the game developers didn't get the time that they had for Just Cause 2 on actually making the world. They made the engine, they made the new stuff, because all the new stuff in this game was map detail. I'm not entirely sure, actually. There was a lot, like, I would actually say that the Just Cause 2 map is more detailed. Like, it had varying terrains, it had, like, a huge mountain in the middle, there was an island off to the side that was, like, the coolest thing ever if you discovered it on your own without doing the mission first. Because it had like a giant Tesla coil. It had this huge Tesla coil that would shoot you down the moment you like arrived on the island. It was super cool, and usually it would just kill you. But yeah, I would say like yeah, there's a mountain right there, but one of the things that this game added, the wingsuit, I feel kind of subtracts from the charm. You're gonna play it right now? How are you gonna play Just Cause 2 right now, or Just Cause 3? Are you playing Just Cause 3 or Just Cause 2? Is Just Cause 2 on the PlayStation version of the Game Pass? Because I've been thinking about doing an Infamous playthrough on my channel because I love those games, even though they're kind of bad. What am I missing? Missing one of the dump trucks. Missing all of the power somehow. There's a dump truck. But in Just Cause 2, the funnest part about the game was playing the game, like driving around. My favorite thing to do was get on a civilian's car, shoot at them. Oh, it's all good. Shoot at them and then have the cops chase me while I stood on top of their car. It's so good. It's so fun. The cops you didn't lose the cops as easily as you do in this game. Not even close to as easy as you lose them in this game. Like, I was at the base and they started searching for me. Like, that would never happen in Just Cause 2. Now you do lose them still, but it's not like impossible. But they changed that AI. They changed passenger AI so that they won't just drive around with you on top of their freaking car. They'll actually stop. So my favorite thing to do in Just Cause 2, you just can't do in this game. One of my favorite things in Just Cause 2 was the sidearms, because in Just Cause 2, you could upgrade your guns. So instead of having like a very wide variety of guns, which it did, granted, it definitely did, you could have two different sidearms. So you could have one of your sidearms be a machine gun, while the other one was a normal pistol. And I forget how you shoot both of them, but I forget the controls of that game like completely, because this game has a completely different controller scheme. I explain train tracks and bridges. Yes. Okay, that is one thing that this game has that I actually love doing. But the funny thing is, Just Cause 4, they took that out. That doesn't exist in Just Cause 4. Just Cause 4 is very weird to me, because there's certain parts of it that are cool, for sure. Like there's a tornado on the map that actually has like pretty cool physics in it. I get all the electrical things over here. So there's a tornado on the map, and there's constant fighting going on. So you're actually like in a war instead of it just being, Rico does everything. Just one. Behind it, yep. Okay. And the last thing, exactly where I'm aimed at. Okay, yep, there they are. Oh, come on.
Is that all you got?
Well, yeah, I love blowing up bridges and stuff. I like being on top of the bridges, like using one bomb and then just being on top of the bridge, waiting to see how long it takes for it to fall. I don't know. I really like doing that stuff. It's really fun. But this is my problem with the wingsuit. One, I do not like the upgrade, even though it's very convenient and I use it a lot. I think the wingsuit is fine before they upgraded it, because they actually like required skill. I don't freaking use the upgrade that much, or the original version that much anymore. So I'm probably not good at using the stupid grappling hook with it. But does this is just a flying suit. Like now I'm just flying, and it shoots rockets. So why would I ever have an RPG now if I could just do this? I'm pretty sure it shoots a machine gun as well, which also has infinite ammo. I just feel like it takes away from what made Just Cause 2 really good, which was vehicle driving. Like, driving vehicles in Just Cause 2 was freaking fun, dude. You saw the original wingsuit. I probably want to, like, would switch back. It's just that, like, the wingsuit I'm using is just so convenient, you know? It's so much easier to manage in a fight. I definitely kill myself less with this version of the wingsuit. It's just, I don't know. Not to mention, like, the other games, Just Cause 2, had very memorable areas. Like, I remember some of the bases I spawned on that, were just, like, because you could only spawn on bases that you've taken over. And for whatever reason, that game, I just didn't ever, like, take over any bases. Like, I didn't know, like, it was because you'd go and blow up all the stuff that you wanted to blow up, and then you just leave. Like, it wasn't a huge part of the game. It was just a part of the game. Again, it was so fun to play and just mess around in that game that you didn't need, like, the base blowing up bases and whatnot. Because, I mean, while that was fun and whatnot, and all fun and whatnot, it wasn't the main thing. Also, I will say, gunfighting in that game, like actually shooting up policemen and whatnot, way better than in this game. The gun variety, I think, was way better than this game. Because there was this, what I would always do was, I would get the original gun, the original pistol. It was my favorite. You know what a pogo stick is? No? Well, in real life, yeah. I know what a pogo stick is, but are you referring to, like, in-game pogo stick? As in, no. What the hell? What the hell did I hit? Pogo stick is the thing you stand on and, like, bounce on, correct? One other thing in Just Cause 2, for the guns, so you could have different side guns. It wasn't like a set thing, like this is. And you can upgrade them, which was a freaking awesome mechanic. You just found the upgrade materials, like, in the world as you drove around and stuff. They'd be in these briefcases. And what they would do is they'd upgrade, like, how much ammo it could have and, like, a clip, but it'd also upgrade the damage and power. So you can actually juggle in that game. And by juggle, I mean you can freaking shoot a dude into the air with a pistol because it had so much power behind it. And keep him in the air with each shot. That's what I mean by juggling. And they really need to... State really needs to fix these train tracks. There's so many potholes. Let's try this again, I guess. There's just stuff in that game that, like, if I were to be able to play it again, I literally would play it for like 4 hours without actually doing anything. It was just so freaking good. These lower sound, like me or the game. Here, let me hear it.
This area is
It's because there's an echo. It might be because there's an echo. Let me turn down the TV. I'm playing with the PS4 controller, which is actually the Last of Us 2 controller. And, its headphone jack is short. Is broken. So it actually, it's short circuited. That's what it is. So it actually breaks my headphones if I ever put them in.
leave immediately.
So it's like really bad. Let's see here.
Authorizing a tactical response team at your position. Choppers are inbound. Repeat, choppers are inbound. Copy that. Reinforcements inbound. This is HQ. We have boats en route to your location.
So yeah, while the second one doesn't have all the cool stuff like multiple grapples and whatnot, it makes up for it with like the charm of that game, which is just so good. Ow. Like, this game replaced upgrading like weapons and stuff because your weapons don't really do much in this game. I'm pretty sure I had to upgrade my lightning gun. That was part of like the DLC. I haven't had to upgrade this gun or this one. I don't know. It's just it added things, but also like it lost a lot of the charm. So while I love like blowing up bases in this game, I think that's like one of the funnest things to do, for sure. Just driving around afterwards and fighting policemen like isn't that great or fun. And I think they're going further and further away from what made the second game so good. I know a lot of people had their opinions about this game being bad when it first came out, because I mean it was... Oh, game sound, okay. I didn't see that one. Because I mean it was short, it obviously was like rushed because like the story and stuff was rushed because they wanted it to release with the PS4. I mean, not that the story of like the second game's all that like fantastic. It really isn't. I don't remember anything about the story. But you know, the missions were fun and stuff. This game doesn't have that great of missions. And like the real thing is that while they upgraded some things, they took away other things. What they should have done is kept everything the same except for the upgraded stuff. Like if they would have just released Just Cause 2 with multiple tethers and infinite freaking C4. That was one of the funnest things to use in Just Cause 2 with C4, but it wasn't infinite. You had to buy it. There was like a money system in that game with the black market and stuff. And you got money by, completing bases and whatnot and blowing shit up. But it would have been way better to have the system that this game has, where it's just a beacon, and you always have one. It may have a cooldown with like certain weapons and stuff, but like that would have been so much better. Because the problem was there was like really cool things in the game. They cost so much money, and once they ran out of ammo, you didn't get any more of the ammo. Clicking triangle, it's not doing anything. Okay,
Stay down.
shooting missiles. Helicopter somewhere? Or is it a tank? Is there an online version of this? I don't think so. That was another mod, was multiplayer. I have a lot of online games. If you have one, we could just play. Because you have a PlayStation 4, right? I don't have to play this game. I can do another stream. I'm actually thinking about, because I'm going to be moving my computer back out here, of not doing streams on my PS5 anymore, unless it's a game. I know I'm not going to be switching games or whatever. 6 years ago there was one. Was there? I know there's like an online leaderboard. I didn't know you could play online. Is it the freaking boat out there? It is the boat out here. Freaking bitch. I think about playing Bloodborne again. The problem is, I wanted to play all the like FromSoft games, I got back into Elden Ring yesterday because I decided to go back to my first character and just do some extra stuff that I never did. I'm probably gonna go down to the Chaos Flame, but not actually do it. Because I want to save that character for the DLC. Of course, if I made another character that's gonna be exactly the same as that one, which will be my backup just in case like the DLC is time sensitive, if you can't do it at the end of the game or whatever. Also, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be scaled to the end game. I'd rather not just be like a super overpowered character, which is why I actually changed my weapon for the first character. So when I beat the game, I had two twin blades, which for most of the game I had one twin blade and I held it with two hands, which I guess was like the worst way to do it when that game came out. It was slow, and it didn't do nearly enough damage to make up for the slowness of it, but I loved it. It was my favorite way to play the game, even since I've beaten it like 3 times now. It's difficult to type when I play. Yeah, it's all good. So I have beaten like Elden Ring like 4 times now or so. Well, beaten. I've gotten to the end of Elden Ring like 4 times. I've beaten it twice. And like the funny thing is that in every other game I use a strength build for the most part, or a quality build, which quality means strength and dex. Like for the most part, that's what I do. But in this game, for whatever reason, I decided to go with the dex build on my first playthrough because I just really liked the idea of the twin blades. I've always liked the idea of the twin blades. I just heard in Dark Souls 2 that they sucked, and they don't. They're freaking amazing in Dark Souls 2. I love the twin blades in Dark Souls 2. I can't actually finish playing Dark Souls 2 either because I don't own it. My little brother, both my little brothers started sharing their primary accounts, and I lost Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. And hopefully within like a month or so I'll be able to buy them because I just got a job. My wife's about to get a job, but she has to wait till there's an opening, and hopefully there's going to be one this month. But until then, I can't get them.
Easy.
So we're just going off. I can't buy any games until then. I really want to get Lords of the Fallen. That comes out this October. That looks really good. I want to get the new Assassin's Creed game. I know I haven't played Assassin's Creed on the channel a whole lot. It's also because I don't like the new Assassin's Creed games. I kind of like Origins. I do not like Odyssey. It is bad. I hate Odyssey. The story might be good, whatnot. It's just so it was so generic and bland as a playing experience. And it might be because I've played other Ubisoft games since, and they all have the same UI. They all have similar dialogue that's just cringy and bad. And they all have similar quests where, you know, nothing of like note happens in them, and they all have like similar rewards where it all sucks. Like, say what you want about Souls and its story or whatever, but every time I do a quest in Souls games, like, I know I've really played a lot of Assassin's Creed before. Dude, I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed in the past. I think a lot of them didn't age very well. I think Assassin's Creed 3 did not age well at all. Oh yeah, that's right. It's 2 buttons in this game. Yeah, I don't think Assassin's Creed 3 aged well that much. I don't think Assassin's Creed 4 aged well. Well, actually, I think Assassin's Creed 3 didn't age well for me because I played so much of Assassin's Creed 4, and a lot of it is very repetitive. Like, the combat is not fun. I will say in most of the games the combat is not fun. I used to think Assassin's Creed 3 had the best combat, but it's exactly the same as Assassin's Creed 4. Syndicate's combat's pretty fun actually, but it was scrapped and I can't really play it on PS5 because it sucks on the PS5. It has like lighting glitches and stuff all the time on the PS5 and it makes me sick. Unity's combat is serviceable, but I think Unity's actually the best game. I'm one of those guys. Unity really is the best game. It was broken and it sucked at launch, but it has awesome customization that, like, you know, that none of the other games have ever had since or before. It has an engaging story for the most part. I think it's a little predictable. You know, like there's a reason why everyone loves the Ezio like parts, and it's because the story was just so good. Like, I didn't give a shit about stupid fighting mechanics in those games because the story was good. The game wasn't supposed to be this game where you can fight like 100 enemies and live. You're an assassin, not a freaking juggernaut or whatever. That's interesting. I actually haven't played a whole lot of Uncharted. Now that I think about it. On this channel, I mean, I played a lot on my own time, but just not on the channel. Which is interesting, because I played a lot of Last of Us on the channel. As before you shut up about it, but I played a lot of The Last of Us. I mean, I think I have... How many playthroughs? When I first started the channel, I wanted to do a grounded playthrough because Last of Us 2 was coming out. So I did a grounded playthrough. I did a normal playthrough. Didn't finish it though. I didn't finish either of those. I did a normal playthrough at some point, and then I did a playthrough last year with my friends. Well, one that's not a friend anymore, but the other one that's still a friend because he's awesome. That we really want to stream and do stuff together, but he's really busy and I'm really busy. Just haven't coordinated, I guess, well enough to do it again, but we played it then, and then like literally the week after, I found out that, like literally the week after we finished Last of Us Part 1, the remake, not the remaster, the remake, came out. And the show was coming out and everything, and I was forced to play through it again. I did it on like a normal difficulty or whatever, because whatever, you know. Forced to play through it again, because, duh, I'm gonna play with the new graphics. I mean, come on. I love that game. And as much as like I've always wanted games to like update their older games into the newer engine, it rarely ever happens. So I was really happy that they did that. And people are upset that they released it early and then it sucked on PC, and it's like, but again, who gives a shit? I don't care. I have no sympathy for PC players. You guys have so many games to play, and then you complain about all the console ports. And it's like... And then they blame it on it being rushed and whatnot. It's like, it didn't have those glitches on the PS5 version, you ding dong. There's a reason it didn't have those glitches on the PS5 version. And it's because... it was made for the PS5. Like, I understand if you, like... But back in the day, and that's the thing, the entitlement is the problem. Because back in the day, if you were a PC player and you got a game that was made for consoles, you knew it was going to be shit. Like, you knew you were going to have to download like 5 patches from mods just so you could play the game. And now that PC gaming is more streamlined, everybody has this entitlement about it, where they're like, well, you know, if you're gonna make the game for PC, it's going to be this, you know, and it's just like, whatever. Like Bloodborne, people want Bloodborne to be remade for PC, and I'm okay with that, you know, whatever. But like, if they're gonna remake Bloodborne, in my opinion, I don't care if it's remade for the PC. Again, I don't do a lot of PC gaming. I have a PC that can play games, and there's a lot of games I like to play on the PC, but again, I grew up with a console,
Even if it's Xbox, I don't freaking care. You know, obviously I'm gonna get the PS5 because I like PlayStation more than Xbox. They just have lately more potential with good games. I like the PlayStation. I just like the PlayStation more, I guess. But the thing is, I play PlayStation games when I get on my PlayStation. So listening to just not talking. That was all good, dude. If you weren't here, I'd just be talking to myself, to be honest. But I play PlayStation games when I'm on PlayStation. I play Xbox games when I'm on Xbox, and I play Switch games when I'm on the Switch. I don't buy a game that's on all three for all three. Usually I just buy it for, PlayStation or whatever. I don't buy The Last of Us Part 1 on my PC because, one, my PC wouldn't probably run it, and two, I could just go play it on the PS5. Why would I play it on PC? So when I get PC games, like when I buy PC games, it's because I want to play it on the PC. I don't buy a game that I can get on consoles on my PC. I play PC games. And I get people like to have all their freaking things and, all their stuff that they like in one place, and they don't want to have to, spend thousands of dollars on a PC and then spend another $500 on a console. Like, that makes sense. But, like, the thing is, though, nowadays you only need like 2 consoles, or you only need 2 gaming sticks, and it's actually going to be it's actually going towards literally only needing 2 gaming things, and that is the Switch and the PC, because now that PlayStation's putting all their stuff on the PC now, there's no reason to get a PS5. And that was my whole thing about Xbox. One of the things I think that was their biggest mistake was putting all their games on the. Wait a minute, please. Okay. Wait a minute in what I'm saying, or wait a minute in what? Because like the thing I think that Xbox made the biggest mistake with, if they wanted to keep being a console company, which I assume they did. I mean, they're not based on consoles. They have a console. If they wanted to keep making consoles that sold, I think they made a huge mistake in porting all of their games to PC. But I think that porting all their games to PC was a really good marketing move, and I think it was a really good financial move, because I am under the map. Really? Sometimes this game do be like that. But it's a really good financial move and a really good marketing move, because now, you just broadened your purchases. How did I do that? I have no idea, dude. But you just broadened your purchases to a whole way bigger demographic. Xbox players and PC players. But the problem is, why would I get an Xbox and spend $500 on that to play Xbox games when I can just spend maybe $1,000 on a gaming PC, and I get to play PC games and Xbox games? And the thing is with PlayStation is that PlayStation and the Switch are really the only rivals anymore. Xbox had one good generation where they sold more than PlayStation and just did better than PlayStation in general, and that was 360. And ever since then, it just couldn't keep up. So I honestly believe that Microsoft is going to be going away from the consoles. I feel like it just takes too much effort and time into putting the money into the console for it to not pay as well, and also the fact that they don't need to make a console to make new games. And I think eventually PlayStation is going to do that too. I think eventually, because they're porting everything over to the PC and stuff, I do 100% believe that in maybe not the near future, there might be a PS6 by that time. I don't know. But I do believe that, holy shit, that eventually all console gaming will be on PC, because it will be so much easier to upgrade graphics and have better visuals and stuff, and also to develop games on the PC than it will be for consoles. It already is easier. It's just the problem is the money. Pretty much just the money, I guess. It will be 100% easier for companies to make games for PC than it will be for them to make it for like the PS75 or whatever the heck. Like honestly, if PlayStation is going to start porting over all their games to PC, which they are slowly doing, they're not going to give them all their games, just like the newer ones, I guess. If they're going to be porting them over to PC, I don't see it as a bad decision. I think it's a really good decision. The problem is I really like console gaming, and this will just make it so in the future they only have to make, controllers. I don't have to buy a new console every 6 years. I will have to constantly be upgrading my PC though, and everybody will know how to freaking do that. Which I don't know. I mean, they do make a lot of money with their consoles. They really do. So it's not going to be anytime soon. But you gotta admit, it'll be so much easier for them to just to sponsor making games and just have a streaming service or a service online where you can buy their games. Because even though consoles make a lot of money, games make more money. Collectively in a console's generation, the games make way more money. So, yeah, I do think that eventually Sony not be swallowed up, but they will go towards PC gaming more. Maybe not leap into it as much as the Xbox does, but I do think a lot of console games are just going to become PC gaming in the future. It'd just be so much easier. You'll have all the games that you want to play, instead of having to have an Xbox, PlayStation, and a freaking Switch or whatever. All you'll need is a Switch that costs, $300 because Nintendo likes to keep their consoles pretty cheap. Which I don't think Nintendo will ever convert over to PC gaming. Not only that, but I don't think they should. Because they don't ever do cross-platform games. When Nintendo makes a game, it's for Nintendo. And that's all it's intended for. And to be honest, I think if PlayStation were to just go back to their thing of when they make a PlayStation game, it's for PlayStation, I think that would be totally fine too. And yeah, they may not have as much sales with the video game, but in the long run, I feel like it would actually be more beneficial for gaming as a whole. Because the problem will be, because buying a PS5, that's $500. It's $500 for 6 years of gaming. And all you have to do after that is buy games and replace controllers. But if the lowest, so basically, the reason why I say this is good for gaming. a new gamer that doesn't play video games but like gets introduced to it or whatever, which is becoming less and less, so you know, whatever. But a new gamer, a new adult that doesn't have a whole lot of money or whatever, if the entry level fee to playing a video game is to have a really good computer, then you're gonna have so many less like new players. You'll just have the old ones, pretty much. The people that have been doing it since consoles. Switch OLED, PS2, 3, 4, and Wii. That's what you got? Oh, hello. That's my problem though, is that like, because PCs, that's what consoles I have, yeah. PC gaming, and they're like, I like a lot of PC games that you literally could not do on console. Console, you just can't, like, that's why indie games was so rare during the time that PC gaming wasn't really like great. Yeah, indie games were very rare because it was really hard to make a game. And it was even harder to get published by a publisher that would put it on a console.
Target's position identified. Sending vehicle support.
Which is why you'd rarely ever find indie games like consoles unless they did really well on the computer first. Like even Undertale didn't get ported over to consoles for like a year and a half or more. And it's one of like the best selling indie games. But like, I get the wanting to make all your games on the PC as well. Like, I get why Sony's doing that, and it's because video game sales like definitely overcast the console sales. You know, and not everybody has, you know, you get more people to buy your game even if they didn't buy your console. Especially the PS5, where it's had a problem with being available by its whole entire lifespan. And just because of that, I know that the PlayStation has had a dip in sales on a lot of their games because there's just no one that owns a PS5. I mean, it's more common now, obviously. I mean, I have a PS5, but it's also because I have a PS5, but it's mostly because I had family that worked at Best Buy. So when new ones came in, they could hold it. They could hold. I don't know if this is correct, but I'm pretty sure when a new one came in, they got first dibs on like buying it if they wanted to. So my brother just bought it, and I paid him, you know, which is whatever. Anyway. Oh no. There we go. Okay. There's also a part of me that definitely does not want all gaming to go towards PC. I don't think it'd be good for the video game market, because the entry level for starting video gaming, first off, you have to have some kind of computer knowledge to PC game. I've done a few PC stuff. Heck, I've just done like randomizers that had emulators, and I learned more about like all the computer shit because of like things that went wrong with running that more than I did in school that had computer classes. Like, I had to learn a bunch. And because I'm a very driven person when it comes to certain things, I didn't have a problem with doing that. You know, I learned it and I did it and I played it. But I know there's a lot of people, especially if they haven't played video games before or aren't huge video gamers, they just won't. You'll see, if everything goes towards PC, you're going to see a lot of games that just disappear. A lot of franchises. I think the first ones that will disappear are FIFA's, not Madden doesn't exist, your NFL's, your sport games for sure. Because sport games are a huge console market. I know there's probably a crowd that does it on PC and stuff, but every single person I've ever seen that plays those games, I've never seen a person that plays it on the PC. Never. And it's mostly because those games are not compressed very well, and you have to have a very, very good PC to play it. I've just never seen anyone play those on the PC. Ever. And I know there's people out there that do. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But you'll have a huge dip in those markets because those people are just not going to be willing to switch over to PC. It's too expensive, too complicated. They'll just play the old ones. Or they just won't play them at all anymore. Basically, they won't be buying anything, is what I'm saying. So that market will disappear. Let's see. There's a few other ones that are just like console specific, you know. Will it increase the quality of games if all games are just made for the PC and didn't have to be ported over to 15 other things? Because I mean, you make an all-platform game like Call of Duty, for instance. You have to code it for the PlayStation 5. You have to code it for the PC. You have to code it for the Xbox. You have to code it for everything. You know, those games make the most money because they're the most available. That's why, you know, Call of Duty obviously would not get any different sales if it stopped being if it was only a PC game. So all cross-platform games would not get a dip. Even exclusive games wouldn't get a dip because they still are only making their game for one console that processes it. But instead of having it be a console, now it's a way easier process because it's PC. And maybe their engines at first were made for one console over another, but eventually they'll all be they'll all be pretty stationary and like standardized on PC. So like at first it'd be a problem, but eventually it wouldn't, you know. Like Naughty Dog when they put Last of Us Part 1 on PC, the reason why it was so bad on PC was not because they rushed the PC port, it's because they did not focus on the PC port. They didn't care about the PC port. And yeah, I think it's a little crummy to do that and then charge people money for it. Sure. But I mean, console games have been doing that forever whenever they did a PC port. Freaking Dark Souls on the PC when it first came out. Not the remaster, not the freaking, you know, Prepare to Die edition. No. Dark Souls on PC when it first launched was unplayable. It was absolutely unplayable. And even now, FromSoft makes their games with consoles in mind. which is why you'll have bad frame rates or like locked in performances. Whenever there's locked in performance, it's because that game was made with consoles in mind, not PCs. And that's just how it is. Because once you can start like changing those variables, you're now thinking about PCs that are all different. Well, all PS5s are the same thing. They all run the same way. They all process the same way. So why would you even consider anything else? One sec. Let me go mute for a second.